resume their partnership after last year's World Championships. They have been together before and they do get on well. Not always the case, is it, with men's doubles pairs? You don't have to be friends, but I would think it would help.
It helps. It helps. You do not need to be friends, and you do not need to use so much time with each other outside court. But these two guys have been knowing each other from early stages. I remember them playing in the whole junior years they played together. And of course, Mads Conrad Petersen had a chance to play with the former world champion Jonas Rasmussen. And of course, that was a great learning experience for him. And then with all these old players quitting, it's now back to Mats Colling.
So there's their ranking 17. As you see, they've had plenty of matches over the years. This year, well, European finalists, but like the #1 pair, if you like, from Denmark. Obviously not this week, but Bo and Mogensen lost to the Russian pair of Ivanov and Sozanov. Elsewhere, they've had second round exits, most places, India, Switzerland, the All England. So Europe, that was a good run for them. Probably a bit of a confidence booster making the final, even though they ended up losing.
That was very good. Of course, this Russian pair played amazing, and of course, Mathias Bo and Carsten Mogensen went out to them in the semi-finals, so they were actually the best pair from Denmark.
Home support as well, for the Russians in Kazan.
Credit to them, they really played well. But as you said, we talked about, I talked about the next step for Mads and Mads. You see these tournaments, second round exits. And I do know they have a ranking of 17, but that's more or less because of European championships and European tournaments. They still need to, say, in the big tournaments, they need to take that next step.
Not too much to talk about from Ung and Law, because they are a scratch pairing, never played together as a pair in international tournament, both very young. Ung still only 19, Law just 20. Interesting looking at the lineup, not sure if there's one or two injuries, but of course Ung Kar Long played together with Lee Chun-hei, who's not picked today. Law's actually playing in 2 of the men's doubles matches here. They were the World Junior doubles champions a couple of years ago, but Ung's really been playing singles for much of the last year, not really been playing doubles. He's the world ranked 83 in men's singles, but obviously feeling that he's the man to go out with Law in this first one. Law will be playing later with Tang Chun Man. They have played together in men's doubles, albeit only a couple of international tournaments, so it's a very, very immature, if you like, certainly in age and experience, out on the court together, Hong Kong men's doubles teams.
Yeah, well, there can be different reasons for that,
Confirmation Grace Chair is our umpire, and our service judge is from India, Fain Datan.
It could be that they think the other pair in this would have a bigger chance winning in the second men's doubles. That's why they've done it.
Well, Ung's a fine player. I mean, I've seen a little bit of him play. I mean, as I said, I thought maybe he and Lee Chun-hei might play together, but they haven't actually played together as a pair since last year's World Championships. But obviously, when you win the World Juniors,
you can play.
Yeah. No guarantee, obviously, you're going to go on and have a great career after winning
almost a lot of them who wins the World Junior will have some kind of a good career in the senior as well.
How hard is it playing men's singles most of the year and then coming out and playing a men's doubles match?
I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's 2 different games. It's men's singles and men's doubles over the last 20-30 years has changed so much that you do not have these players who can really compete in both. In men's doubles, it's so much about the service situation and the third shot and these things, and that it's very difficult. You have to train it every day.
Well, let's see whether Ung Kar Long can cope with it. He's a winner of tournaments this year in terms of singles, won the Osaka International. And he won the China International Challenge as well in February, but this is men's doubles. Interesting, he's not playing in the singles though.
Yeah.
Even though he's won a couple of events.
Denmark, represented by Mads Conrad Petersen and next pillar Rosling. Also trying to serve. On to Max Conrad Peterson. The ball, play.
So Denmark leading by a 1-0 after Janne Jorgensen got them off to a great start. That's just wide. Maybe we might see our first challenge here.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, I thought it was wide on my instant look.
Challenge.
It is wide.
So here we go, first Hawkeye challenge of the 2014 Thomas Cup.
Good first rally.
Hawkeye unfortunately not quite ready, but I mean my initial look was that was just wide. I mean, I think the players were pretty convinced as well. I mean, it was, let's have a look at the replay here. Here we go. This is not Hawkeye, obviously, but
that is,
ooh, it's a lot tighter than I thought it was. I think my initial instinct was right, and he has to catch a little bit of the line, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that is
a close call.
That's a close call, actually, a lot closer than my initial instinct. Maybe, I'm sure I mean, you can see how close Colding is to it, looking down at it. He was pretty convinced. He had the best view of the lot. But as I say, Hawkeye taking a little while to give us the result of the challenge here. But the players get 2 challenges per match. And of course, if they get one right, then they keep the 2 challenges until they get one wrong. And our umpire, Grace Chair, just waiting for the result of this challenge. And I'm afraid that even our look at the replay wasn't 100%, was it? I'd still err with the side that it was out.
Yeah.
But I was not convinced as I was initially.
No, we definitely need a graphic for that one.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to, I mean, this is when you introduce things, I mean, it's not the first time, obviously, it's been used in Super Series events, but it's the first time used in the Thomas and Uber Cups. Then obviously there's going to be a few teething problems. It's taking a little longer than we thought. Here we go. Oh, it caught the line.
One challenge remaining.
It was in.
One play.
Whoa.
That's it. And he has to catch a little bit of the line, and it did.
I can tell you one thing for sure, that I've been cheating a lot in training then.
It was definitely out.
I would have called that out any day. Well, good thing. That's why we have the whole guy.
Hey, and how much credit to the line judges. Got
yeah,
that right.
That's a really good call.
Wow, so
service over.
An interesting start to this men's doubles match. Obviously one challenge still left for the Danish pair.
Well played by the Hong Kong pair.
3-1.
We already see in the beginning it's a battle of the first 3 shots, and then tricky serve. But there will be a lot of front court. Who's going to take the net? Who's going to have the initiative? Who's going to have the attack? I think that's going to be. Here it's very difficult to control the defense. So.
You're hearing Jim Lagerson alongside me, and Jim, you were known for your hard smash. Obviously, this is the discipline where you excelled at men's doubles.
Yeah.
I mean, how important is it then if you've got the power that you had out on court to have someone who can buzz around the net? And
oh, very, very important. You know, it's actually. You're not going to win a men's doubles on a hard smash. I wish. It's definitely what happens at the net and in the service situation. That's what's controlling the game. Of course, it helps when you have a hard smash, because of course your opponent won't just have that confidence in you.
They know they can't just defend you.
But nowadays, especially nowadays, how doubles is played, it's front court stuff. And we see a lot of these rallies now go further than 3, 4, 5 shots, and that's how it is. It's how men's double has evolved over the years. And I can tell you one thing, another thing. I'm still out practicing with the Danish guys sometimes at the national setup, and I've played against Colin here sometimes. 2 meters and 5. It's not that comfortable to be in defense when he's smashing, because he can really get that shuttle steep.
Sure. I mean, being that tall, obviously. You may think he may struggle for mobility a little bit, but obviously that doesn't seem to issue. And then he's got a greater reach than anyone else.
Great reach, but he's got his advantages. But of course, there's weaknesses as well.
Service
so
over.
That was a little short.
6-all.
Pretty even start. Some good mobility, isn't there? Law there picking out the cross-court winner.
7-6.
Good mobility from the Hong Kong players.
They're definitely coming forward. You see, they're coming forward. They're playing it into the nets and then coming forward and covering it. They want to be in attack all the time.
Service over. 7-all.
Good exchange that.
8-7.
The Danes need to do that better. If they think they can just stand on this side and just defend, then they're in trouble. They need to counter that defense and come forward and get into the attacking position. That's better.
Service over. 8-all.
Of course, with England and Japan in this group as well, you'd expect Denmark and Japan to be the two nations. Obviously, there's no guarantee to go through, but it's important, isn't it, to try and win each rubber, because it determines perhaps who may finish top of the group and who may finish second, or where you're seeded next.
Service over.
Which is why we have all 5 disciplines played, don't we? And it doesn't stop.
Well, you can say everything for Denmark now is to try and avoid China as much as possible.
I think everyone's got that feeling, haven't they?
So that means big victories.
It's just long.
Service over. 9-all.
Japan needs a little bit more patience in that area of the game. Pushing it too much. As soon as he has the chance, he finds that gap on the front court, just behind the net player and the back guy.
Yeah, big boost for Hong Kong a few weeks ago, winning in the mixed doubles in the Asian Badminton Championships, and that, as we mentioned, Denmark winning in the European Championship team event, and obviously performing well in the individuals a few weeks ago. But I mean, I know you don't have mixed doubles. Of course, Thomas Saliba Cup, it's men and women, but I mean, there's still a group there, isn't there? That will give them a bit of a boost.
Of course. Anything you win will give you a boost. It doesn't matter what.
So, narrow advantage for Denmark. The Mads Petersen and Peter Kolding leading 11-10 at the interval. So Peter Colding and Peterson here being spoken to by their coach Lars Uher. And it was as a scratch pairing, I would have thought a pretty satisfactory start for the Hong Kong pair in that opening exchange.
20 seconds.
Yeah, and you see not only scratch pair, it's also a combination of a left and right-handed,
11-10. Play.
which can be even more difficult if you're used to playing with a right-handed.
Well, it was a long way out there though, wasn't it?
12-10.
You can see the Danes now that they're just playing it into the front court and just waiting for the Hong Kong pair to try and get out of that, and that's where the mistakes are. Hong Kong pair need to step, you know, they don't really need to cover the backcourt because the drift is so much that the Danes won't play down there too often. So they need to get forward. See the Danes, it's only when they really have to and it's necessary, that's why they will lift. Not before. Oh, well played.
14-10.
So what the Hong Kong pair should do now is they should think, okay, we actually only have to cover half of the court, and then just stand really far up on the court. See, even from that point, Mass is trying to.
Service over. 11-14.
And if they could do that some more, the Hong Kong pair, that will be a good thing for them. If they could hit to each other's forehands, because it's a left-right combination.
Just wide from Colding.
12-14.
Things get a little tighter again in this opening game of the men's doubles. Nicely done from the back of the court, and just get the feeling that this Hong Kong duo maybe just growing in confidence a little as this game's going on here.
Service over. 15.
Covered the ground well there, Law, but maybe that was a case of maybe not knowing each other's game that well out on court, where kind of started to go for it, maybe just put his partner off slightly.
Well played. Good shot by
13.
Colding to set it up. And that's the one thing, when you really focus on taking the net with that reach, it's very difficult to play against him.
Name Matthias Bow, of course. He must have been upset not to come to India, hasn't he? According to reports, got an Indian girlfriend, hasn't he?
Yeah, that too.
A Bollywood actress.
That's probably, maybe that's the most upsetting point. No, of course it's good that it happened, because imagine this has been the World Championship in Denmark. That would be nothing against this, but that would have been.
That would have been heartbreaking,
very heartbreaking.
Particularly at his age, if you like.
Yeah,
you
it could be, and it's his last chance to play in Denmark ever in a World Championship.
Yeah.
The next thing is of course that he had all the hard training up to this, because this was actually decided the day before they left. or something like that.
18.
It was a big
14.
lump apparently they found, and he had the scan, and they said, right, operation time.
Now, not
Yeah.
not tomorrow. Now they said, and he's gonna need, and you can, you know, you've done all the hard training, and you're ready, and you're building up, and you're ready to play, and then it's kind of like it's no, you're not playing anymore. So hard one for him, but
Service over. 15.
surgery
18.
went well. So
Yeah, well, apparently he won't be out that long.
No.
It should be just a few weeks to recover.
well, he could go to India then. Just not playing badminton.
Yes.
Service over. 19. 15.
Well, they've kind of eased away a little bit, haven't they, here? The Danes. Nothing spectacular.
No, but they've
solid.
They've been solid, and then especially in the service situation, they've been winning all the easy points and that. Coming forward, taking the net.
That's nicely done.
20.
And it's game
Game
points,
point
5 of them
15.
for Mads, Conrad Peterson and Peter Kolding. Unsaved.
Service over. 16. 20.
Another one.
17.
2 down, 3 to go. Third time of asking. Peterson puts it away, and Denmark,
First
who
game
took the
won
opening
by
game in the
Denmark,
men's singles, take the
21-17.
opening set in the men's doubles. Mads, Conrad Peterson and Peter Kolding taking it 21 points to 17 here. This was the winning point. So the Danes 21-17 take the opening game, but some encouragement there for the Hong Kong pair. We'll see if they can come back. Confirmation of that scoreline. Interesting that quite a few unforced errors both sides of the court there.
Yeah, but unforced errors, you can say. That's you know, I would rather call some of them forced errors.
Yeah.
Because in doubles, you are forced to make an errors. You know, when you're forced to try, you have to remember there's 2 guys in goal, and you have to find a gap between that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of
a little bit harsh.
objective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or subjective, I should say,
Yeah.
in terms of what's forced and unforced. But,
You know, if you've been playing low to the front court and you have a guy covering the net, you got a guy cover in the back, and they put you in a spot where you can't really place your shot, and you have to make maybe a really, really good shot. Is that an forced error?
yeah, because you could have put it over the net and
Yeah.
just have it smash back at you, and that
Exactly,
would be an error. But
Exactly.
Hold on.
So that should probably more or less go down as a winner for the other pair. So
Wait.
so we're going to plan as far as Lau Zua and his Denmark team are concerned. Day 1 of the Leaning Thomas and Uber Cups. Just long.
yeah, that's got to be the problem for the The Hong Kong pair now. We got the drift rhythm.
1 love.
And the Danes are going to focus on taking the net all the time and making them force them to lift away from the net. And to maybe paint the picture for the viewers now is that you don't know really how you can find the backcourt. That's difficult for them. The other thing is that you're probably going to lift a little bit too. Oh.
Well, Peterson was Zane in the end retrieving.
You're probably going to lift too short on this side, and then you have a guy who's 2 meters and 5. You know, that's
good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Just getting the mop up after Peterson's little diving save. That's all smiles on the Denmark bench, isn't it? It's a pity, I suppose, to see empty seats, but it's not surprising really given the time of day on a Sunday morning.
No.
It will fill up, of course, India in action later on today.
Play.
Yeah, there you have it.
Service over. 2-1. Service for all. Service over. 2-all.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's difficult for the players, whether these players are almost using the same serve all the time, and then you suddenly get in the start of the second set you get a call. You've been serving the same way for a full set, so sometimes you don't really know what you're doing wrong.
He's pretty short at the start of this second game.
Service over. 3-4.
Of course, this is only the fourth time that Hong Kong have appeared in the Thomas Cup this year. No pre-qualifiers for the Thomas Uber Cup. It was based on world rankings. So 4 groups of 4, 16 teams in total. Denmark really Europe's powerhouse when it comes to badminton. The biggest hope, maybe some would say the only hope for a medal. They have been 8 times runners-up in the Thomas Cup, never won it. Only 3 nations have won the Thomas Cup.
Yeah, there's a little curse on us on that one.
Well, given the size of Denmark in terms of its population,
yeah, it's pretty impressive.
You could say, never mind a curse, you're punching above your weight, really.
Yeah, you can say that, but there's still so much expectation going on when you're playing badminton in Denmark. It's always been so many people winning things that there's a lot of pressure on you, and it's just you also just gotta accept that teams like China and Indonesia and Malaysia is just got so many players.
And India as well, another
India
emerging
is coming.
force, yeah.
In Thomas Cup. No. I also had the privilege to play the final in '96.
7-5.
We beat China in the semi-final, and we were going into the final, and you know, thinking this could be it. Lost 5-0. So to Indonesia, who was just way better than us. So there's you beat China, and you still, you know, you have to go through some countries that are so good.
I mean, everyone's saying China the team to beat. I mean, I don't suppose you're disagreeing with that?
No, I still have a little thing for Indonesia as well, because first of all, when it comes to Thomas Cup, they always perform really, really well, and then they got these, you know, the likes of Simon Santoso, who just came up here and beat Lee Chung Wei in the final. They got
Singapore,
they got Setsuwana San in the doubles. They got Kido. They got, you know, they and they're always up for it. You know, they it's almost like they're overperforming when they're playing Thomas Cup.
Over. 9-6.
But then China shows up with Len Dan, so
that's third singles, yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah, Japan are pretty strong in terms of you know, in terms of solid performers throughout. You know, there isn't a weakness there. You look at Japan, the singles players all in the top 25, the doubles players all ranked in the top 16 at the moment.
But they've never had a really good Thomas Cup.
No.
So
well, we'll see. Denmark though in this second game, the Mads have eased to an 11-6 interval lead, so very much going to plan so far for the Danish team, and at the moment Hong Kong just aren't able to really make a real battle of it. No real threat from them so far, even in this men's doubles. Yeah, it's very similar, if you like, to what we're seeing here. I thought there was a flicker in the opening game where I thought, yeah, this Hong Kong pair, they're looking mobile, they're looking threatening, but now they're back at this end of the court, they're kind of running out of ideas.
Yeah,
20
they are.
seconds. Pot 1, 20 seconds.
And it's again to say they are playing for a lot of points, but all the easy points the Danes are taking, and then all comes down to that this service situation, which is so vital in men's doubles today. If you can't get out of that, then you're in trouble. And there's nothing worse standing in there and you play the game and there hasn't really been any rallies, and
11-6.
you don't get that feeling of playing. So
Yeah, that's nicely placed.
12-6.
4 points in a row for Denmark, and House back with the klaxon. We'll be hearing a bit more of that, I think, over the next few points. Not there though, netted by Peterson.
Service over. 7-12.
Not required again with Peterson down on the ground. Difficult, isn't it, for some of the teams here? I mean, you pretty much know that you can't win in terms of the Thomas Cup. You're very unlikely to get out of the group, but it's an important experience. I said this is only the 4th Thomas Cup for Hong Kong. 2 of those came as hosts, so they haven't really qualified for, well, apart from one other Thomas Cup before, so it's an important experience for them, isn't it?
it is. Well, you gotta believe when you step on court. So there's nothing, you know.
I know, but there's a. I understand you've got to go out there and think you still can do it, but the reality of it is it's very unlikely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even
we might be locking one match, but
I mean, maybe against England they'll have a chance
yeah.
to win a few matches, perhaps. But you'd have thought against Japan and Denmark it's going to be difficult for them to win maybe more than one match.
Yeah. Playing well now, the Korean pair.
9-12.
Forcing the Danes to be in defense.
Yeah, we talk about the size of Denmark. I mean, Hong Kong obviously even less numbers to choose from.
Yeah.
A little bit of massage work going on.
Yeah,
Service over.
that's another part of
13-9.
Thomas Cup, you know, having healthy players. See Jan as soon as he gets off court, he gets treatment on that calf.
As you said, those long socks, since that he feels very comfortable.
He feels very comfortable. He hasn't had any problems. Of course, he's also focused on it, and of course, he gets his treatment. And
14-9.
a calf problem in badminton is it's not a good thing. You have to keep that down.
But it's fair to say, is it most players? I mean, obviously we've got a Hong Kong pair here who are 19 and 20 now. Doesn't mean you're immune from many injury woes, but it'd be fair to say that anyone in their 20s has probably got some kind of problem there or issue they're having to deal with.
Just got to play through it.
Just long.
Service over. 10-15.
Again, just enough distance as far as Denmark are concerned. Enough of a cushion here to feel relaxed. Still going to get the job done. 5-point gap and already a game up. Make that 6 points.
Service over. 16-10.
Point gap. Yeah, it looks like they're comfortable now. Hong Kong pair doesn't really look like they believe in it anymore. Well, it's a good start for Mads and Mads.
Service over. 11-17.
To the net from Law. And it's pretty close now for Denmark. Flick serve just long.
Service over. 12-18.
That's a good return. Serve.
Service over. 19-13.
So match points have arrived. It took 32 minutes for Janne Jorgensen to win the opening match. Well, 32 minutes on the clock here as well. First time for
14-20.
holding there. netted by Ung, and that means Denmark take it in straight games again. Mads, Peterson and Kolding comfortably through there, 21-17, 21-14.
Match won by Denmark, 21-17, 21-14.
Some smiles from Denmark. This the winning point, putting it into the net here.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a good team spirit going on in the Danish team. They had a good team spirit at the European Championships for teams as well, so it's very important.
So two very straightforward victories for Denmark. In the men's doubles, the Mads, Conrad and Kolding coming through against Karlong and Lord Chequim, 21-17, 21-14. I suppose you never know what you're going to get. The #1 Danish pair with Bo and Mogensen obviously not together, with Matthias Bo out injured. So after Jorgensen had got Denmark off to a good start in the men's singles, for Conrad Peterson and for Kolding, important they got off to a solid start, and they did that here.
They did. And that's good for them, and it's good for Denmark.
You never know what you're going to get when you've got a scratch pair at the other end, and there were some flickers of interest, if you like, from Karlong and Lord Chequim, who we'll see a little bit later. But particularly in the second game, they didn't look anyway as if they were going to really threaten the Danes.
No, but it was it's the same thing in the first game. You know, in the beginning it was quite close, but then he just pulled away.
To 17 in the first game, 21-14 in the second, but in that second game the Hong Kong Jew were never in front. Very solid, good covering of the court there from Peterson at the front. Very few errors. So things wrapped up just after half an hour of play. As you'd expect, given the international nature of such an event, cosmopolitan crowd enjoying the action on all four courts. So Denmark leading by 2-0. So victory in the men's singles, followed by victory in the men's doubles. Here's the statistics from that men's doubles match that we saw.
Yeah, you can see there's 1.1 each in over 20 shots. See, that just shows you men's doubles today.
Yeah, you don't see many rallies of over 20, but 10 net points, 1-4. But fair to say Denmark pretty dominant in that match, when you know, to the important points as well. Hong Kong pair really never got close enough.
No, and the net points won. Denmark was 10 and the other pair only 4, and that's where doubles today is decided. So.
Players ready. Players? Wait.
So that's it. Men's singles and men's doubles both going Denmark way. So 2-0, which means, of course, if they win the next men's singles match, they have beaten Hong Kong, although we will still see all 5 rubbers. So here comes the second of the men's singles. Victor Axelsen against Wei Nan. He looks pretty relaxed, doesn't he, Victor? Wei Nan, originally from China. Another tall player, 1m90. He's not quite as tall as Golding, but up there.
Well, that's very tall for a singles player. If you look the likes of Lin Dan and Lee Chung Wei,
and of course Victor Axelsen